Well, gang, I talk all the time about local politics on this channel. So, what I want to do is introduce you to the Newark mayor, Ras Baraka. Now, if you're not familiar with the city of Newark, New Jersey, it is a sanctuary city where Donald Trump will be sending troops to, well, I don't want to call them troops because that sounds a little too militaristic, but yeah, they're going to be sending a lot more border security down here to go after the immigrants that are here illegally. Once again, illegally. And well, Ras Baraka over here, he is just completely against it. Oh my goodness, this is unconscionable. My God. But when he got elected into office, actually, fun story, it was really my first step into the political realm because I began by working on the campaign for his competitor, Shavar Jeffries. And I was coming back from California. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing or what I was getting into because trust me, Shavar Jeffries is an establishment tool. Make no mistake about it. But the sad thing is I was going, door to door talking to the residents of Newark, and I had some of the most amazing conversations with people who were 100% on this man's side. They were like, yes, Ross, he's one of us. He gets it. We really gonna rock with him. But unfortunately, it tends to be with so many different elected officials. Once you get into the establishment, you become established, and that focus on citizens and constituents, those who are here legally, has been foregone for the the illegal immigrants, and the pushing of the sanctuary city policy has just been devastating, for lack of a better term. So what I want to do in this video, he's speaking at some men's event in Newark. It's like a citywide men's event. But what I want to do is I want to really just decipher some of this local political speak for you. And, maybe if you live, the likelihood that you live elsewhere is pretty prominent. So, when you go to your locals and you start figuring it out, you'll be able to, understand some of the language that they use. So let's get to it.
And welcome to all of those who are in here spying.
Yeah, he believes that there's some huge, spy conspiracy against him because that's one of the fun things to do in urban America, make up a ton of different conspiracy theories when in reality, shoot, if they live in Newark or the like, then they have every right to be there too. They just disagree with you, and that's a bit disheartening where we can't have disagreements without people thinking, oh, well, there has to be some deeper agenda. My agenda is to, cut taxes and improve the quality of life, which runs counterproductive to a lot of local, politicians and what they want to get accomplished. Let's keep going. Hold the line. Basically, vote the line. Okay, like the way that this county is set up, like if you are not on that voting line at the top of the ticket, vote A all the way, then you really don't stand snowball's chance in hell. I mean, trust me, there's been a few instances of that not taking place. The person most prominently known for not having to be on the line is Senator Ron Rice, who, represents us in the 10th, not in the 10th, I'm thinking about Payne, but who represents us in the state house. He doesn't have to be on the line, but that's because he has name recognition and a rock solid voter base. But yeah, this whole hold the line thing, yeah, it's vote the line more than anything else. Don't worry, I already just explained it to him, sir.
Coming to a men's event, you don't know what hold the line means. Hold the line is serious, y'all. It means when times get rough, we hold on to each other. When the enemy comes at us, we don't buckle.
Who's the enemy, though? That's my main question, because as far as the nation goes, and it's really one of the more infuriating pieces when it comes to the sanctuary policy, is that at the end of the day, we are supposed to be Americans. There's so many people who like Americans. How dare we be Americans in America? How dare you? But unfortunately, whether you like it or not, sir, that is where you are an elected official at. You're not an elected official in Ghana. You're not an elected official in Korea. You're an elected official in America. And the federal government trumps state, and we've always known that. But this sir right, this gentleman right here, it's just like he's gotten to where he needs to be. He's sold his soul as much as as much as he can, and now he's like, rocking on the people who blindly follow him, as opposed to being willing to open his ears up. He's not the only one either. Make no mistake. Tony Voss and Irvington, exact same thing. And I can't put the same thing on Ted Green, but I am more than certain of it, because here in New Jersey, it's about the county, right? I mean, you can have your municipality all you want, but it gotta go through the county. It has to go through the county exec, Joe D, and they have to, because they're the ones that truly hold power. The rest of these guys, Ras included, they're nothing but puppets to the county once, they get into the position. It's all just political theater for the most part.
We don't fold. That's right. We don't point fingers. That's right. We don't hide under tables. We don't turn around and run. We grab our brother and we hold the line.
But which brother is that? That's my question. Because I mean, like, as far as for just heterosexual black men in this country, we got to get away from places like this. There's a reason I was in California for 7 years. It's because I know there's nothing for me here. There's a reason I fight as hard as I do. Is because I know there's nothing for these young men here. Let me tell you guys something. One of the main reasons I'm still around is that I did a summer program where I met a whole bunch of kids, some of them in foster care, and one of them sat there and said, "Oh man, I wish Mr. J was my dad." Broke my heart. Broke my freaking heart. And it's primarily because of the poison that's been allowed to fester in these communities that have created all of these people that turn around and, have no direction or no guidance in life because they never asked to be born. And instead of acknowledging that, and instead of saying, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to bring, industry here and make sure that families can actually afford to take care of themselves and each other, what they want to do is keep the status quo going, because that's what makes the investment class the most bread. And the investment class are the ones who put all the dollars into their campaigns. And the cycle continues. Let's keep going. I see. Okay, so for my longtime subs, you guys know that I worked the campaign. I was about to work a campaign until the gentleman told me he was a communist, and that gentleman comes directly from Ras Baraka's stable. And so I hear a lot of the other gentlemen. I'm not gonna say any names, but the other gentlemen in his speech patterns and his cadence. And so to an extent, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying that he is, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's a communist himself, or if he's an unabashed communist himself, because like the entitlement mentality and the generational welfare that has propagated urban America, one of the largest examples is right here in Newark. Let's keep going.
You might have a disagreement with your brother. Somebody know you have a disagreement. Did y'all see that video? They know you have a disagreement with your brother. They go to them and try to get them to talk bad about you, or you bad about him. You tell them hold the line. That's what we.
Okay, so but that's the thing. Once again, what's that line? I mean, because you're the one that doesn't believe in borders. You're the one that is happy to be a sanctuary city, that wants to sit there and thumb your nose up at the federal government, which is the dumbest shit. Like, guys, y'all really don't know how infuriating this has been for me. Watching these people who, when I was working that Shavar Jeffrey campaign, right? Some people came in trying to intimidate. I'm not one to be easily intimidated, but the deal is that the magnetism and the energy around his campaign was just it was potent. It really was. A lot of people really believed in him. And unfortunately, what you do when you sit there and talk about sanctuary policies is that you place the lives and the wants of, non-citizens over those who literally went out there and voted for you. And that's one of the biggest reasons the man is a disappointment, particularly in this facet, because, as far as I'm concerned, the sanctuary policy is completely treasonous. You're sitting there guys, I do not like the government, okay? And one of the greatest things my dad ever did was beat the hell out of me. Not whippings, but beatings, okay? And he'd always tell me that you don't want to get caught by them. So, because it'll be so much worse than that. I'm beating you now so you don't get caught by them later. And you know what? That it really rings true. Even if you do, like, because me personally, I don't care about someone's immigration status. If I come across you in the street, I'm going to show you love, like you in front of me because you in front of me, like I'm not going to sit there and ask you, hey, are you in the country illegally? Hell no. Like that's none of, ultimately, I like to consider that none of my business. But when you have the state government flip the finger off to the federal government and scream how, oh yeah, like have sanctuary city policies on your literature, then it's not going, then you're like basically begging the feds to come and see you. And it's like, bro, whoa, what are you doing? This is dumb. This is very, very dumb. And now they act surprised that that these policies are coming back to bite them in the behind. So I really just wanted to show you guys the type of delusion and the type of, how do I put this? The type of base that a lot of these local politicians can come up with, and they'll have people ready to blindly just follow them without asking legitimate questions or asking them and just taking their orders as gospel, as opposed to saying, wait, if you're sitting there prioritizing non-citizens, then what about us? Like the same people that he's sitting there claiming to represent, the assumption is that they're American citizens. So why would you, why would you kind of throw your nose up at us, right? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. But either ways, I wanted to talk about just because I didn't do a video on the paratroopers coming into Newark and all over the country. I didn't do a video on that, but I really did want to focus in on, local electeds, and hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully you can hear when, particularly if you live in an urban community, you can start to make out some of the bullshit language that they use to, put a nice coat of paint over a car with a bad transmission, because that's really what it's been about over the past 30-40 years is, oh yeah, this looks nice and pretty over here, but let's not worry about how it functions, just worry about how things look. And unfortunately, that hasn't done anyone any favors. All right. So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to give videos like this every single day. Share because, pardon me, sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Do you have local electeds who are completely off their rocker when it comes to their Trump derangement syndrome? And how do you expect this to play out over the next few let's say like the next decade or so? How do you really think urban America is going to play out now that the establishment and the establishment's true purposes and true intentions are so blatant and so clear for the world to see? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking in the comments, and until the next one.